All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Kitchen Table Podcast where business gets done. I'm Ken Baden, and I'm here today with my very good friend, Shawn Pollard, my man with the plan. What's up, Shawn? How are you today, brother?
Doing great, brother. Doing great. Battling adversity at its highest level, but going after it every single day, my man.
I know you are, dude. Shawn has come on the kitchen table not once, not twice, but this is the third time. He's the only guest that I've had on. I think you're the only one I've had on multiple times for one, and less three times. And there's a reason for that. Shawn is. I'm not going to gas Shawn up too much because he doesn't need it, but I mean this when I say this. You know, he's got his own coaching thing, but and does very well with that. And he's very humble. So, you know, he's not out here, look at me, look at me, look at me. In fact, I think Shawn is just such an amazing, like if I could afford Shawn, man, I would, oh my God, dude, I would love to, but it's just, alas, I can't. But Shawn's the kind of guy that if you can get on your team, he's just, he's gonna shine, but he's gonna make you just 100,000 times better. I've seen it 3 times now. So like, I don't know anybody better in the industry. That's just all I can say. I mean, I've watched him with Andy, I've watched him with Ryan, and I've watched him with Jeremy Minor. I mean, yeah. So if you don't know who this person is, he has worked on some of the best teams and built and blew up some of the biggest names that you've ever heard of. He's just so humble and such a cool guy that he's okay with, you know, I've got my coaching thing here. I don't know. I said I wouldn't gas you up, dude, and I'm kind of doing that. Let you talk about you.
That's awesome, man. I like hearing you say it because that's one thing that I've never fallen in love with talking about myself, man. You know, the life that I've had, similar to yours, like when you get beat up so bad and you come back from that on the other end of that adversity, the disruption I've caused in my marriage, the money I've flushed down the toilet to my addictions, and you come back to this other side and all of a sudden you have an identity and you realize that, dude, I have a superpower. And I never wanted the fame, right? I didn't want to be in the limelight. I like sitting behind my computer and making the guys that are the visionaries look really good. And I have a skill set for it because of my relentless pursuit to study. And that's all that it is. And I don't pay for courses and training. I pay for the time that I need with the person that I need it from. So let's say I need to learn something from you. I'm not going to buy a course and go through it. That's too much time. I'm going to give you the $10,000 or $5,000 for your hour or whatever that hour might be. And I'm going to get every dollar out of your ass when it comes to that training, because I need to move with swiftness. And that's the thing that I've learned about scaling companies and building culture, is that it has to be fast and you have to be the example for people to follow, and you cannot waver in any gray areas, or you're just like everybody else, which is a lot of the things that you're seeing right now. It just isn't real. So, man, I'm honored by what you say, dude. It's been a 7-year journey now, since 2019, really, since I quit drinking. And it's been, you know, more than that, obviously, but it's just been one hell of a ride. And I'm grateful for every piece that God, or every person that God's put in my life. And then the adversity that keeps making me stronger, right? I got this thing on his compression sleeve. I have a blood clot in my arm, man. How does someone get a blood clot in your arm when you're as fit as I am? You just never know what's going to happen. So that's why I live every day with passion, for sure.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on with the health stuff, man. And I get that, man. I've been, you know, while we're just talking, just me and you, 2 old pals, I don't even like mentioning it because it gives it some kind of life, but I had been dealing with some anxiety. And I don't know why. And that's the most frustrating thing in the world because it's not something I'm used to. I've had like little micro panic attacks. I mean, most of it's caffeine, no sleep, and nicotine, you know, and that was once every few months. Go, 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 because that's how we are, right? Go, 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 no sleep, and eventually every once in a while it catches up. But man, lately, the last, I'd say like 3 months, there is one big key thing, and that's I've got a baby on the way, so everybody keeps assuming. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe, dude, maybe on an unconscious level, maybe. But to me, I'm just like, I don't know. The things are the same as they always are. They're always, let's do as much as we can and pile as much on. And sometimes I have to kind of like pull back, but I don't know, man. So currently I'm doing some stuff myself and kind of removing some things and just kind of seeing what's working, what isn't. I've cut way back on my caffeine. I just had my first coffee of the day, albeit a Starbucks, like black nitro or whatever. So it's like
Just
the
get you jacked up.
caffeinated, most caffeinated one. But I used to have black coffee, 5 hour black coffee. And so I've had like 1 or 2 cups of coffee today, strong cups a day, not today, but and then I don't know. I've been reducing a lot of stuff. I'm quitting vaping, so I'm trying to get healthy myself, bro. So I can empathize in that we look physically, and I get what you're saying, right? But it's like that's great, but of what value is that if I don't know the rest of me isn't just as appealing, right? If my internals aren't
Yeah.
operating as same as my external, it doesn't matter. You were saying, hey man, you're getting bigger. I want to get bigger, but if that's not lining up with the inside, dude, that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? So I need to make sure that that's all getting. If nothing else, Sean, I think what's really happening is that I have an acute awareness of my mortality because I have a person coming. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Let's
I
play
never
that
gave a
back,
shit.
dude. Just play that back. What he just said, right? Rewind that and hear that again and again. You to realize, like, okay, I have another person. It changes things. Like I tell people that I will protect my wife with everything that I have. And then children come along, and I'd be using my wife as a shield to protect those children. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is because they are something so special, and the legacy that they leave behind is powerful. My oldest boy, 27, he works with me now. Never
Wow.
been in sales. He's been a technician for years. He was a flat rate technician for Mercedes Benz, making about 130 grand a year. He left that, started doing his own thing, and I got him to move to Arizona. And now he works for me. He comes out of the gate month one. He's number 3 in the company for an SDR role, right? He's learning NEPQ first versus all the things that I've learned. So he's coming out of the gate with the unfair advantage, I believe. And I'm telling you this, man, when that baby is born, something internally changes forever where you feel this overwhelming sense of pressure to become a better person. But what happens is over time with me is my kids were doing great, but I wasn't taking care of Shawn on the home front with spirituality and my faith. And that's why I ended up going down that road when I was 34. When my son reached Patrick, he almost died from a heart condition at 10 years old. And
Wow.
that's when I stumbled as a man, went down the road of drinking and pills because I couldn't protect him. I wanted his pain to be mine. That's not going to happen when he has a heart condition. There's nothing you can do. So you have to be aware of these things are real. And that's why I think I'm built for adversity the way that I am. Nothing stops us, dude. You'd have to kill me to stop me. And Lord knows people have tried over the last 6 years to slander my name, put me up against the wall. But I'm the guy that just keeps fighting and fighting. And I've done it honorably. That's the one thing I'm very proud of is the way that I have approached this new world, in business. So I'm honored to be here, brother. It's just a journey of my life, dude. I'm smiling every day.
Yeah, and I want to kind of visit that if you don't mind. I mean, I don't know what is or isn't off limits, but I mean, I don't want to get, and I know some things. I don't want to talk about names, but you have worked for some and with some. I would even say with, because you haven't worked for. I know what you were doing was you built these things before they were the things. So to say for would be not doing you the service that I saw firsthand. Like, hey, you were with, at the very least, this particular one person before they were what they are now, right? And
Yeah.
same thing with you've done just such big stuff at helping. It's just such a talent, man. I don't know. Well, I hope I'm articulating, but you get somebody like Shawn on your side, and he's just able to just make you better, so much better. Like, what do you attribute that to? Like, I don't know. I would kill to find someone like you. And some people, I'd kill to find someone like you to be in your position. That's just such a unique thing. So let's start with question one. If
Mhm.
somebody's trying to find that guy like a Shawn Pollard that can just make them better and 10x their company, like where would they even start? Because I think you're just such an anomaly. But I think that's a really cool question to ask because I've watched you do it 3 times now, man, and I'd love to get some insight there.
That's a really powerful question. I'm not sure if I know how to answer that one. I just for from 18 to 39 years old, I was good at making money. My buddy was murdered when I was 18. I almost lose my son when I'm 34, and that's when the drug addiction and alcohol started. And at 39, I lost everything. Even my wife was leaving me. Me and my wife Jennifer, we've been together for this year in December, 28 years. She was out. So I had to lose everything again, literally from the memories and the pain of my buddy being murdered. He died in my arms,
Mm.
to my son, to now losing my wife. And I know she's a pillar in what I've built. For me, rock bottom is a thing that most men have to go to before they make the change. Not too many men are self aware to force themselves to change and become this new man. I know you know that story very well. So what I decided is that I don't really like the limelight. I'm not a follower of any. I'm my own leader. My competition is with myself, and I found that in wrestling. And when I decided to go all in on myself and recreate, I was 9 months sober when I found my first business partner, basically. And we started basically out of a garage in a small little warehouse, 500 square feet. And I decided that, okay, I'm going to become my own man. I'm not going to chase the vision of sales trainer, sales motivator. I'm going to go down and into the company and figure out the integration piece that most people can't figure out. And I spent a lot of money figuring that out. And then I figured out my mindset. Why do we do what we do? And that's all I focused on all these for the last 6 years.
Hence the name
Well,
Mindset Monster, by the way. Just saying.
Mindset Monster. It's funny. Everybody laughs at that brand name when they first said it. But, that revenue that I pulled in last year with Mindset Monster, the brand is just shy of $1 million. And that's me doing it basically part-time with only people I want to work with.
Right.
It's one of the best things I have in my life, and I'm so proud of it. People are like, you need to blow it up. No. I like it just the way that it is.
Dude, I couldn't
No one
agree
really
more.
knows about it. So people come to me organically. They know that I only work with people that I choose to work with. Then I build visionaries that I believe in. I love that. That's my lane, bro. I don't want to be. I only have Instagram and I have Facebook.
Okay.
People come to me. You need to be this. You need to get YouTube. You need to get LinkedIn. You need to go and do TikTok. That's not who I am, bro. I don't want that. I want to make millions of dollars a year, performing at a high level, and run my coaching the way that I want to run it because I know my lane, I know my vision, and I know what I'll be able to become because I've already done it. From money to rebuilding my marriage to my kids look at me as a superstar again. So how do you find someone like that? I think you find someone that's gone through a lot of pain, and you get them to forecast who they can become, understanding the threshold that they can go through. And you have to preach it to them. You have to preach it to them, and you have to tell them that, hey, this is that past isn't who you are. It never defines you. Freud is full of shit, telling us that we are our past, we are this. No. We are the vision that we can create for ourselves. We are the dream that we can make a reality. We aren't from our past. It isn't about our childhood. That's all bullshit to me. It's about erasing that, learn from the pain, and now let's go think big. Look at the vision of how many people we can impact, the lives that can be changed if you stay in your motherfucking lane and quit getting sidetracked by instant gratification and these bitches that flaunt shit that they don't really have or own. And I realized how fake all these motherfuckers are real quick in this industry. And so I said, I want nothing to do with them. I'd rather do it alone and be the man that my wife is proud of and God would call his friend. And that's it. And so I keep to myself and I build empires. And the scoreboard's all that matters. And that scoreboard is stacking up quick here at 7th level. I promise you that since I've been here.
Yeah, so super cool, man. And that's an excellent answer, by the way. And for those of you who don't know, he's using terms referencing EOS, I'm assuming, visionary integrator, right? So Shawn sounds like he's really dug in, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shawn, but he's found his purpose. And the two main roles in any company, you have your visionaries and you have your integrators. And that's right. That's the company. And Shawn's found his purpose and calling and fit and being a top-notch integrator. Right. And you can have the visionary and you can have the integrator, but missing one or the two, and you don't have the right calculation for a good company. Right. And so that's amazing to find that lane. Like, I'm looking for the right visionary to work with to really help them, because the visionary needs help. That's why the integrator and the visionary work together. The visionary is not who you want running the day-to-day of your business.
I want Jeremy doing nothing with operations of this company.
Right. And Jeremy probably wants nothing to do with operations at the company. No. If he's a true visionary, maybe they hang on to it at first because they're afraid. I can speak from experience, but deep down in the depths of my soul, I am looking and praying for the integrator to step up and take this. You know what I mean? It's when it's your baby, it's scary, but Sean's proven it over and over again. Again, level, high level after high level. He just has done it with three of the biggest names in the business, and all three of them have their own businesses. And currently, that's seventh level with Jeremy Minor, and that seems like, man, you found a home there, dude. It really does. I've watched you again over the years, the last couple places when you were kind of finding your spot. I messaged or commented on that post where Jeremy gave you the Rolex. I just said, man,
Yeah.
Jeremy, you got a good one because I know you personally. We're friends, but I also know your work ethic and what I've seen what you can do for an organization. So I'm like, man, he really seems to have found a home there. I mean, how does that feel to really finally be like, is that true? I mean, it seems like it. It seems like you found a home and you found your place, man. How do you like it there?
It was a battle, man. There's a story behind everything that you do in life, and I believe that, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But to get here today, as well, I have full operational control over the company.
Mm.
To get here, the first 4 months was hell. I mean, hell, where I almost quit a couple times, and my wife's like, "Listen, you're not leaving Jeremy's side. He needs you to protect him. This man has a great heart, and I want to be here with him, honey." So my wife kept me here for the first 4 months of the transition of the old to bring me in, and then obviously get the president's role. And so the biggest thing about the number two, they cannot let their egos trick them and think it's them that did this. Now we're up big time in profitability and in money every month since I've been here. Very easy for my ego to go, this is all me. No, 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 dude. The guy making the content, it's all him. And I've watched number twos leave number ones and go do their own thing and spiral out of control and lose it all because the ego tricks them. This month can't do this without you. This is you doing this. You have to keep your ego in check or you're done. I was with Tarek from HGTV, Flipper Flop, and then Flip Off. I was with him last week. We're in Newport Beach. And he tells me about his number two going behind his back and starting to do deals and ends up leaving him. This number two that he groomed from the ground up gave this guy everything that he had, and he ended up burning him with money and things like that. Now, leaving someone because you're out of alignment and you don't align anymore, that's fine. But then taking business from that person and then going your own way and doing your own thing and creating your own company because your ego tells you that I can do this better than him, it's a cardinal sin, man, that people don't ever really come back from. So when you're in alignment with somebody and then you fall out of alignment, those are two different things. That's just a business decision. But if you think for a second that you as an integrator become number two, and then you go on to do great things and you're like, I got this, I'm going to go do my own thing. It's a massive mistake. And I've never seen anybody go do it on their own because they don't understand what that visionary goes through every night to prepare, to scale. This training behind Jeremy's closed doors. They don't get to see that stuff. So you just got to be careful. But ultimately, I want alignment with people that are truthful. I'm looking for a piece that I can sit in here and say that I'm proud to be here. I'm honored by the work that we do and the results we get our clients. And I'm not looking for a quick buck. This is my legacy. So it's going to take me a lot of time. And then I want to show up at the end of the day and be known for something when I die. So I asked my question to all my coaches or the people I coach with, what do you want to be known for when you die? And become that person and understand it's going to take some time and don't jump for the quickest buck.
I love that, man. And you said a couple things there that I'd like to just touch on real quick. You mentioned one, you're doing this coaching stuff as you want to do it, when you want to do it, with who you want to do it. And I think that's
Yep.
just so cool. We were talking recently, and hopefully we can still, if nothing else, I asked you, hey man, if nothing else, could you just mentor me? Because there's so many fake, like you already said it once, I don't need to hit on it again, but there's just so many fake people in this industry, man. And I've spent a lot of money, unfortunately, or fortunately, man. You can look at it either way, right? I had
It's
the
a
money to
positive that you
spend,
did.
right? I had the money to spend. I learned lessons,
Yeah.
and I've grown from it, right? I look at the relationships I've gained. Who's to say if I know you the way I know you now? And I'm not as naive as I was, right? So I've watched other guys do what they do behind the scenes, and I've learned, okay, this guy's real, this guy's fake. At any rate, that is so powerful as a business owner or integrator. You're this high level one or two, you know what I mean? There's really nowhere else to go, but to be able to have that in your just at your leisure. That's what I'm trying to do with my current consulting. I've got a client that I'm hoping to close tomorrow, man. We're really in alignment. I really like them personally. I like where they're at, and I know we can help them. And so, like we talked about, how there's just too many coaches and consultants out there that, because of social media, are able to get clients purely just based on content
Yeah.
and no deliverables, no nothing, just, hey, sign up, give me money. That's
Hmm.
so nuts to me. But, last night I was talking to this gentleman. He's like, hey, can you help me give me something? Because he's a partnership with his son. And his son's more the integrator, or DISC. He's going to be more high C. He needs to see numbers. And he's like, I'm all in. I think he needs to kind of be a little, persuaded. I was like, he needs to see deliverables, dude. That I already know what he needs to see. I knew that to begin with, but you guys were excited. We're in, and then now it's like, I get it. So I said, look, just here's what we're going to do in the next 90 days. We're going to deliver X amount of volume. We're going to hire this many people. It's going to take us this amount of time, and this many people are going to be held to this standard and get this much, this volume of leads that'll close at this percentage, at this average ticket, that'll net this gross volume. That if we do it right, we'll be at this net income. Period. There you go. That's the 90-day and I think that was hopefully we'll close it tomorrow. But I'm going on a tangent here. I just wanted to recognize how extraordinary that is, that on your spare time you're doing, I don't know, I would guess 20, 30, 40,000 a month and an extra income. That's not my business, but how cool is that? And you get to work with people that you want. I think that's kind of the lane, man. That's for me, that's what I want to replicate, and I'm going to replicate. How, if somebody was interested in doing that, where would they start? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, could you talk about that at all? I mean, that seems easy for you, but to most people, it's kind of like, what? You've got a whole extra coaching business on the side while you're, integrator at seventh level, arguably one of, if not the premier sales organization in the United States. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like,
Mhm.
that's easy for you, but some people might say, well, what the crap? Where would I even start?
If they wanted to get their own program off the ground.
Yeah, man, and to have something like, like what you have, because honestly, I'm interested in hearing it only because I'd love to have a couple clients that I choose to take on.
Yeah.
I think social media is probably a big part, but I'd like you to just, if you could please, just touch on, okay, well, here are the things you got to have to do it. If you want to learn more, well, they could contact you, but just, some baseline stuff.
I'll just tell you kind of what I did, and it worked well. And when I got into this industry, I left the automotive industry after 21 years, and I got into this industry, and I never spoke about sales training. I spoke of my life, my journey, and my relationship, and that's it. I've never edited a reel that's super fancy. I've never put out content that went through an extreme, editing space. I just posted content about my life. Sometimes it was sloppy, sometimes it was raw, it was didn't really align with what was going on in my life. It didn't matter to me. But one thing I never did is I never spoke about sales training. I spoke about mindset, I spoke about relationships, and I speak about business, operations, back end. And over time, that's all I've spoke about. And so now people know me as this mindset guy, and they reach out for me for mindset, and they're like, "Oh, you actually know back end ops too. That's really special." So consistency, right? Knowing your lane. I feel that a lot of people, they're doing sales training. It's like you're competing with the man himself. Why would you want to do a bunch of reels about sales training? Why don't you get to know me? I want to know that person that's selling the man sales training to see if I can tie my ship to him, or get in bed with them in a relationship as far as business, because of who you are and what you bring to the table. When I tell people I've had X amount of jobs in 28 years, and I've had one woman in 28 years, and I went through an extreme addiction from 34 to 39 that cost me 800 grand, that's real. You know how many men have gone through this shit? But it's really hard to talk about, right, out loud, especially when the hate starts pouring in. I just said, fuck it. I'm going in. I'm going to show them who I am. And so every single day I show up for seventh level first. And then I speak my mind on my brand and who I am. And I plug seventh level for what we do and what we're accomplishing here as a company. And then over time, it happens. Most people aren't giving themselves enough time to become good, let alone great, let alone maybe iconic by the time they die. They're not giving themselves enough time because Insta money, Instagram, Insta fame, Insta meals, Insta fucking everything. I want it now. It won't happen now. It'll happen over time. And I've committed to the rest of my life building a brand that's honorable. So when I take that big hit and I make that big deal with somebody, whether it's for the business or someone that doesn't even know seventh level, and they come into me for private coaching, that happened over 6 years of producing content every single day the way that I wanted to produce it. I've never taken any advice. I've never expanded past Instagram and Facebook. Those are the only two platforms that I do business on. I get 56 new inbound leads a day, roughly, on Facebook and Instagram. They go into my private CRM because these are people that know me. And then I bleed them into the seventh level sales training if that's what they need. Sometimes that's what they need, or sometimes they need me to help them. If you just show up every single day and be who you freaking are and don't be fake and try to impress people, you're going to find your alignment with people that are like you. And once that happens, that grows very fast because they start spreading the word. But ultimately, my seat and my role, I'm a number 2 to the number 1 sales training company, and people can say whatever they want. I know numbers. I know our numbers. We are the largest in B2C in the world, and we are the 5th largest in B2B in the world by numbers. Money taken in every single month. That you can't fake. So that is my priority, and my hobby is coaching people professionally and in business. And then now what I've done is I've opened up a whole new division for 7th level for back-end operations, where now all that money is coming into 7th level to a tune of about $300,000 a month, comes in directly to 7th level because now we have a back-end operations build-out team led by me, and everything's just moving quite fast. It's moving really fast right now. And so, but if you stay truthful, you stay honorable, and you do the thing built for time, dude, you're not going to fail. Just most people jump around too much, or they want instant gratification. And a lot of people can't take the punches that are going to come your way with what you're going to build, because you're going to be attacked. Doesn't matter how good you are or what you create, you're going to be attacked. It's inevitable. I have people that attack my wife now because of me.
Wow.
So build for it. Build for this grind, man. Build for the mountain climb.
And see, it reminds me of a quote I watched Hormozy. Most people want success. Few are willing to look stupid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're going to look stupid. You're going to look foolish. It just is what it is. You're going to get attacked. You're going to have your name smeared. It is what it is. I mean, so
Yep.
Especially with the social media, the way things are nowadays. But if I'm hearing you correct, Shawn, the main thing is consistency. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
you've got to be willing to fight for it longer than, I don't know, a year or even 2. You know what I mean? It's going to take time. So
Time.
the
Do you know what I
difference-
love about Jeremy Minor?
What's that?
Do you ever hear him quoting our numbers?
Nope. I've
Do
never.
you ever hear him saying we do X amount of millions a month?
Nope.
I fell in love with the man for that reason, because he knows how good he is. He's the Tom Brady. He is very silent, but he is a true competitor. He is an ultimate competitor to win. He doesn't speak numbers. He doesn't speak about what he has. He doesn't talk about his real estate deals that he does. He doesn't flash his flashy cars. He was someone that I could align with because it made it real to me that I could build and become a multimillionaire doing this with him and not show the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris and the nice homes. Do I have to go really buy? Can I afford it? Yeah. Do I have to go get a Ferrari to freaking show off to get the attention? No, those aren't my people. I wouldn't want to do business with those people. I wouldn't let them into my coaching. The people know from experience, my people are smarter than the average bear. They're 26 to 52, because those are my private coaching clients. And I've attracted them by being real. Talking about my sex life, how there was none, and to how there is some now. The rebirth of my marriage and my children. And so I just love doing it organically, because you're not going to change my mind. Can I go spend more money on ads? Could I go get a professional brand editor that shoots all my content? Yes. Does a visionary need to do that? Absolutely. Do I? No, it's not. No, not the way I want to build. So now I built it without being shiny, flashy, showing the Ferraris and the Lambos and all these cool houses and stuff. I built it exactly the way I wanted to, and it's paying off to the tune of 7 figures a year in income. And you can kiss my ass if you say it can't be done. You just don't have the patience. You want to shortcut everything. Don't shortcut. Just be you and know your role. But you have to figure out your identity piece first too. And when you build this brand,
Well, that was the coldest, encapsulating one-liner that you could have given to wrap this all up. So I don't want to steal too much from that because we're going to be using that. I feel as a reel for sure. But Roger and my face like yeah. But I do want to
Love it.
say I really do. I love Jeremy's stuff. Honestly, I'd love to get him on the podcast sometime. But I always really like
We'll
Jeremy's
make that happen.
content. I kind of forgot that we talked about it, but I would love to. One and two, just genuinely, whether he does or doesn't, I really appreciate his the fact that, and this is why I'd love to have him on. He talks about the stuff that really interests me: the psychology behind the sale, NLP, tonality, just all the things that I geek out about. That's what he has, and I wanted to really focus on those things, but I just didn't know if there was an interest, and he's just consistently done it. And so he kind of has given me encouragement, like, well, he's never deviated from it. He hasn't bailed and
No.
gone and did what you said, like, well, hey, look at these cars, look at this, look at this. You know what I mean? He's a sales guy. I'm sure he has them, but he doesn't feel the need to. He sticks with, hey, no, I'm going to talk to you about the tone, the science, the things that make you money, by the way. Like, those
Yeah.
are the things that you really need. But
Mhm.
too many of these guys get caught up in the workouts and the cars, and they miss the things that are actually going to make you money to get those things, like
Yeah.
the stuff that Jeremy does, right? So
Well
honestly, I
said.
love that you're with him. I love that you're with Seventh Level, guys. If you want to check that out, how can they find more information both on yourself or Seventh Level if they're interested?
Seventh Level, I would go check out Jeremy Lee Miner on Instagram or Mindset Monster on Instagram. That's where all my stuff's at. That's where a majority of his content's at. Take his free content until you're ready for that next step. His free content will make you tons of money.
Yeah,
But the inner workings of how it works and the breakdown with the private coaching that he does in the inner circle and our pro, which is our second program, that's when it gets deep. So write his free content until you get to a point you're like, okay, I need more now. I
okay.
need that next level. And then Jeremy Lee Miner on Instagram, Shawn Pollard, Mindset Monster on Instagram, and then connect. And I always tell people, DM me. It's the fastest way of communication is DM because one, you get to go judge me first to see if you even would like to hear my voice or talk to me again because my life is on Facebook and Instagram. That's who I am. I've never deviated. So that's the best way to do it. And then stay true to yourself. Don't get locked up in the money. Don't get locked up with an ego. Don't let the fame fucking corrupt you. You can't. And so some of you are going to hear this. You are going to go make it big. Don't let the fame and clout corrupt you. It's not cool. It's not cool if you become famous and become an asshole. It's not okay. And that's what we're leading into. And I see it all over the world. So I pray that everybody finds their identity piece and ask yourself one question. What do you want to be known for when you die? Visualize that man or woman and then emotionally take it into your soul today of how it would make you feel and start freaking acting like it. And that's the only thing that you would need to do to go become that man or woman. And then life is a beautiful journey, ups, downs, and build for adversity. Because once you get on a run, the devil's going to crawl all over you and try to fucking sabotage you. I promise. It happens to me all the time. When I'm on a real good run, I'm like, something's coming up because it's just life way of slapping you back down. But that's why you're built for the grind, right? They're built for this mountain climb of success. So it's been a beautiful life, bro. Real beautiful life.
Well, I'm
A
loving
blood
watching
clot
it.
out of nowhere. A blood clot with my health out of nowhere. Dude, what the hell?
Yeah,
I'm on blood thinners right now. It makes me lightheaded. It's like, that's just part of it, bro. I'm
yeah,
built for this shit.
yeah. I hear you, man. I'm right there with you, dude. I took a blood pressure medicine pre coming on here, and I'm like, dude, what? You know what I mean? But like, they're trying to figure out what's going. But whatever, man. Whatever it is, what choice do we have but to deal with it and figure it out? And that's precisely
Yeah,
like, all right, cool, man. We're gonna figure this thing out. That's all there is to it, right? Step up, address it, keep it moving. So I'm
absolutely.
right there with you, dude. I'll keep praying for you. Make sure for good health. And I can't wait to see you soon, man. We'll have to do this. I'll have to come out and are you in Arizona still, or where'd you go
Yeah.
back to?
I'm in Arizona.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to come out and
Yep.
see you, man. Maybe
Here in
we'll
Scottsdale.
we'll make something happen, dude. I would love to meet. I'd love to meet Jeremy as well. So we'll make something happen. I'd love to come see you. But guys, check out my guy, Mindset Monster, Shawn Pollard. He's one of my best friends, one of my favorite people in this industry, and one of the most successful, real successful people in the industry. Seventh Level, Jeremy Miner. Those guys are really doing big things. I love his content. I love the psychology behind it. Check him out. Shawn, I love you, my brother, and I will see you soon.
Absolutely honored, my brother. I'm here for you. Anybody else who needs anything, just reach out and let's go to war together and fight this battle together. We need team and we need culture.
Let's get it.
That's the next one we got to talk about is building proper culture. Next
Well,
time.
that's a segue. The next podcast, building a proper culture. So tune in. We'll have to get you on. I know you bailed us out today. So next one, culture. Love you, my brother, and we'll see you soon.